episode 43. I'm your host, Eric, with my main man right there, Ron. How you doing?
I am doing quite well. A lot to talk about.
Oh, man, we were just, as we're putting it together today, we just kept adding stories, so we'll try to get through all of them. Um, let's start off with that leadoff story. So the Steelers fall to the Minnesota Vikings after a late comeback attempt, 36-28. Did either team move the needle for you in this game?
No, because I didn't even watch the game, to be honest with you, Eric, because I'm just so disgusted that some of their losses this year have just been inexcusable, especially Minnesota. You know how I thought Minnesota was going to make the playoffs, and when they lost to Detroit, that was it. That was it. Done. Done.
So I looked at Big Ben went 28 for 40, 308 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He did all he could. The kid, wide receiver, Chase Claypool, probably one of the dumbest plays I've seen from a professional. And I wanted to talk about the undisciplined of the Pittsburgh Steelers and kind of what we've seen all season with them.
Yeah.
But you think of Mike Tomlin team and how well he usually coaches. The kid calls he gets the first down off the play. He singles first down. They lose about 10 to 15 seconds, which honestly they would have had probably one or two more plays to the end zone at the end of the game.
Right.
And when they ask him about it, he's like, "Yeah, I did my move, and then somebody knocked the ball. Why were you doing your move? Like
Yeah.
you don't have time to do your move. Made
You
no sense,
you are in hurry up offense.
right? Like it
If
made
you
no
are
sense.
doing moves, then
Like I
you're
didn't get
killing your
it.
team.
And then Dalvin Cook, though, with the return, 27 carries for 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Can you say they really need him?
Well, I don't know why they didn't use him more this year. That
Well, he
that
kept getting
to me
hurt. I
is
mean, he's had
puzzling.
those injuries. So if you think about from a standpoint of him getting healthy, the importance of that to Minnesota, but Kirk Cousins to me is still the problem. 14 for 31, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He still makes a lot of mistakes.
Hey, he had more yardage than Mac Jones did this week.
Wow. I, I think me and you could have more yardage than Max Jones did on Monday night.
But the only difference is, the Patriots are good.
Yes. Yeah. I think Minnesota, we've talked about Zimmer getting possibly fired at the end of the year if they don't make the playoffs. A lot of this too has to be on Kirk Cousins because the talent's there.
And that's what ultimately could save Zimmerman because, first of all, okay, GM has to decide, well, whose fault is it? He could decide, well, the owner could decide that the GM needs to go first
Yeah, exactly.
because he's making all these decisions on who to bring in. So so it could start right at the top. You get rid of the GM, new GM comes in, gets rid of Zimmerman, and then gets rid of Cousins also, and tries to get one of those new quarterbacks that are going to come out in the draft.
Yeah. So listen, Minnesota's been a quirky team all year. We've talked about them
Yeah,
several weeks. And I think it's pretty safe to say they are a very long shot, even with this win yesterday.
yeah,
To make the play.
they've underachieved.
And think about it, they were up 29-0
Yeah,
in this game, and they almost lost it. They
yeah,
almost gave it back to Pittsburgh, who made this late run, and then again the tight end dropped the ball in the end zone
yep.
at the end of the game. So
It's all it does. Look, it starts off with the discipline, and both teams have had their
yeah,
problems, you know. But if you don't reel in that discipline, then other things start going wrong as well, and it's just a trickle down theory. And you know, now you've got in Minnesota Zimmerman. I think he's got to be out because I
Zimmer,
don't think he has this team.
Mike Zimmer.
Zimmer, whatever.
Yeah,
Zimmerman, Zimmer, whatever. I'm
Zimmerman's the
thinking of
pitcher, I
somebody
think,
else. I
the first
think,
baseman for the Nationals, or he was. I don't even know.
but but
I got you.
he's lost this team. He's
Yeah,
lost this team.
absolutely. And I think, look, it's been coming. They have talent. They have one of the best wide receivers, young wide receivers in Jefferson.
Yeah,
Dalvin Cook's one of the best running backs in the league.
yeah.
Kirk Cousins is the problem to me. They have a solid defense. What's the problem? It's the coach and probably the quarterback. I think you make some changes there. Minnesota's back next year. Listen, a lot could change in that division next season.
Oh, I
You know what I mean? Aaron Rodgers could be out. It opens the door for these other teams to possibly make that move.
Absolutely.
Minnesota has the most talent out of that division. So
and not for nothing, and I know your thoughts on Garoppolo, but Garoppolo could be out of San Francisco next year.
There's
even
gonna be
though
teams
he's
looking
not
for him,
playing
yeah.
too badly, he's
Listen.
managing the game, and that's the difference between him and Cousins.
Yeah.
Cousins doesn't manage the game very well. At least, you're getting two average quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
But game management comes into play, and Garoppolo is better at it.
Yeah, no. I listen. A lot of teams are going to be looking at Garoppolo, so there's a possibility of it. Let's talk about the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we're going to put up that picture of this man right here, and that's one Mr. Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben. So he's basically said this is his last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, that's the key, though.
The question is, A, should he retire? B, is he a Sherlock Hall of Famer in the NFL?
Yes, he should retire. A lock? I'm not sure if he's a lock. I think he should go. I think he should go in.
So I'm going to give you some numbers here because that's what I do for you.
Yeah, you do.
6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champ. He's 8th currently in career touchdown passes, 5 passes away from passing Marino for 7th, who's already in the Hall of Fame. He's 6th overall in passing yards and 5th in wins. So he's in the top.
Yeah, he's
7,
got to go in then.
right? So
Looking at those numbers,
right? To me, he's a Sherlock. Listen, could they have won more Super Bowls? Absolutely. He won one early, and then he won one, kind of middle. And I think the problem with him, too, he also faced Tom Brady in the AFC.
Yeah.
Which we know what Brady's done to a lot of careers. He's kind of stunted them from, being able to do a lot of different things. So I think he's a Sherlock. I can't see him not getting into the Hall
with
of Fame.
those numbers, you have to go in because, well, first of all, if you lead Dan Marino in any of those categories, Dan Marino did not win a Super Bowl. So just by that alone, he should be in.
So we did a Twitter poll. 94% have said that Ben Roethlisberger should retire. Only 5.9% have said no, he shouldn't retire. So it was pretty overwhelming that even the fans say, look, as great as he's been,
I think
please
Mike
don't go
Tomlin was one of those voters for don't
could have been.
retire.
But hopefully he doesn't go to a team and just holds on because I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see a Brett Favre
Just
type thing.
Let's call it, look, whatever they do this season, even if the odds are they don't make the playoffs, especially with that loss on Monday, but good chance, listen, just retire now. Don't go to some team and just, we're going to be like, you remember when Ben Roethlisberger played for the, you know what I mean, whatever team, nobody's going to remember it.
Right.
So let's look at week 14 has probably had the most interesting games so far of the NFL season. So the New England Patriots are off, and I'm like, there's not going to be anything to watch. And then I went through this schedule, and I'm going, there's 6 solid games that I came up with.
Yeah.
So
it's probably the same 6.
Right? Probably. What do you got? What do you got for one of your games?
All right,
here?
so I'll start at bottom tier.
I love when you do this. You love bottom tier for go.
Bottom tier.
Yeah.
San Francisco, Cincinnati.
Bengals, right? I got it. That's one of mine. How interesting is this game?
Not only that, Eric, San Francisco put themselves in a position, and I don't know how they actually did this. They're 6-6.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could remember they were like, 2-5?
I believe so.
If I'm not mistaken. Like, they played pretty damn well. And that is not going to be an easy game for Cincinnati.
No, not at all. And again,
they just came off of a bad loss.
Yeah, and what Bengals team shows up? Is it the Bengals team that we talk about? Like, this is the team that's going to the playoffs and could be a contender? Or is it the bad Bengals team?
Totally stink the
right? Yeah,
week,
so to me, very interesting game. So I'll do it the same way as you. I'll try to go with the lower ones first. I got the Cowboys at the Washington football team.
Yep, I got that one as well.
Right. So you think about the fact if Dallas loses this game,
It's only one game,
it's one game back. And I mean, they're already starting to go a
and
little
they have to
haywire.
play each other again.
And right. So you think about how big it is for Washington. If they can pull this off, that changed the NFC East right now because the
Could
Cowboys.
you imagine if Washington does catch them? Oh my God! Because if they catch them, that means they've won both the games pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
So then they would be the top seed in that division, and
I just imagine what the Cowboy fans.
I would just laugh. I would laugh.
And then
Because this is squandered.
the crazy part of it was too that the head coach of the Cowboys came out and said that they were going to win the game. They're not even worried about it.
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy, like, what are you doing? What are
Yeah.
you doing? Talk about bulletin board material.
Yeah.
Like, just put it up there. Like, yeah, we expect to win. That's not going to be an issue. So
I think they're going to lose.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see that game. What else you got?
Well, before you say anything, Dallas also has to play Arizona at the last game, don't they?
Aha.
So good luck. Because if you lose those two games against Washington and you lose against Arizona, you're not probably winning that division. So just had to throw that out there.
No, great point.
What else do I have? I have Las Vegas at Kansas City.
I have that game as well. I think we're going to have the same game.
Yeah, we're going to have the same games.
Yeah, we should.
I mean, it was pretty obvious what games they were. Look, Las Vegas 6-6. They're still hanging in there. I got to give this team a lot of credit because they've been through so much this year. Between the idiot,
the coach, the player, Ruggs,
and then the other idiot,
right?
And then a few more idiots. But no, it's like, look, this now becomes a team that I didn't like to root for before. I'm rooting for them now because of the fact what they've been through.
And I'm going the opposite way. I want to see if the Chiefs are finally back. And here's the chance to say, look, this is our division. We're going to take the Raiders out. We're not even going to have an issue with it. And then they've got Los Angeles left to really contend with. Are the Chiefs back? This is the game that would kind of prove it to me. And again, it's going to be tough. But I also think that they're at home. That kind of helps them. Las Vegas doesn't normally travel well.
Right.
They're better at home. So we'll have to see. One of my other games, Ravens at Browns.
Yes, got that one too.
Right? So what is going on here? Because, listen, what team is Baltimore? Can Cleveland finally get something right this season?
I'm sorry. Both of these teams have been horrible. And I don't know how Baltimore's even 8-4, to be honest with you, because they've been playing bad and
listen,
still winning games.
Think about it. They are decimated with injuries.
Yeah. They just lost their other cornerback, too.
Yeah, so it's bad. I get it, right? And they're hanging on. And they're asking Lamar Jackson to do way too much. But they lose this game. All of a sudden, that division still – the Pittsburgh Steelers still in it then.
Yeah.
Like it's a game. Everybody's a game back.
Yeah.
Right? So the Browns, this is a massive game.
This is huge for Cleveland because they can't lose this.
They can't. They cannot.
They will have too many teams to climb over.
Yep.
And I don't think that they're playing well enough to climb over a bunch of teams.
Agreed.
So they have to win this game against a struggling Baltimore team that's just happened to be playing a team that's playing worse than them all the time.
If there's an opportunity, this is the game. I mean, they have a lot of injuries, a lot of questions with the Baltimore Ravens.
And it's at Cleveland, so there's no excuse.
Exactly.
Cleveland loses this game, I think there's a house cleaning coming.
They're all done. What else you got?
All right, I have the two games.
These are the two big ones.
Are the biggies.
Go ahead. What do you got?
So I will do the Los Angeles Rams. I'll let you do that. Buffalo, Tampa Bay.
All right. Bills at Buccaneers. Agree with you. How fun is this? Tom versus the Bills again. The Bills, after just getting shellacked by New England, just a share punched in the face.
Like, the obvious thing is let Fournette run all over him.
Right?
That's
Just
the obvious, right?
don't have to throw the ball. Don't throw the ball. Just run.
Just run. Give Tom the day off, have him hand off all day.
Tom, relax a little bit, slow the arm down. But this, to me, is more important for Buffalo.
Oh my God, this is
It's-
huge for
Right?
Buffalo
They lose
because
this
they
game.
just lost to New England. If
And the
they
way they
lose this
lost.
game, they're 7-6 and just an average team.
Right? And the way they lost it. The way they lost.
They were embarrassed.
So it's just that's a fun game. And then obviously, like you said, Rams at Cardinals, two top teams. Listen, the Cardinals can lose this game and still be okay.
Oh yeah,
The Rams cannot.
no,
And if you look at the sheer talent, to me, the Rams on paper have more talent and yet have under
on paper
performed,
they have more talent than everybody.
right? So the Rams really cannot afford to lose. If they
But-
lose this game,
Look, I actually predicted them to lose this game, and they go to 8-5, and that is fine because they're still going to make the playoffs. They're not missing the playoffs.
but they're not playing the way they should.
No, they're not. But there's a lot of talent on this team, and there's still a lot of time. So even if they lose this, I don't think they're going to catch Arizona, no matter what. I don't think
Yeah,
Arizona's
no.
going to lose a game for the rest of the year.
That's a bold statement.
But there's a difference when it comes to playoff time. Like, there's a lot of players that are really ripe for the Rams to succeed. Like, that defense, they've been there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? They've been to the Super Bowl, and I think that's going to carry over, with a lot of those players, especially like a Von Miller being added to the mix.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it, even if they lose this game, it might actually be better if they do, to be honest with you, because that will get them to refocus so much. And I think that would carry them a long way. So if they lose this game, I still think that Los Angeles Rams are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, hey, I hope so. That's my pick.
Yeah.
So a lot of great games to watch. NFL this Sunday, Monday. It's going to be great. Check it
Yeah,
out.
and it's kind of great too because you have no pressure because
Yeah, no,
like
England
it doesn't like the only one that really matters is that Buffalo game and the Baltimore game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it could affect us in first place.
Right.
Yep.
So
So a lot of fun there.
and,
So we're going to bring.
and
Go ahead.
to top it all off, I'm saying that Tampa Bay and Cleveland are going to get it done, and it's going to help the Patriots.
I love it. So we're going to bring up a picture. So this is a sad story that
Ugh.
came out yesterday, and it was the passing of Demaryius Thomas at the age of 33. Just 16 days from his 34th birthday, Thomas had recently retired from the NFL after 10 seasons. He played with Denver, 1 year with Houston, 1 year with the Jets. He was in New England's training camp in 2019-20 and then ended up deciding it wasn't a good fit. But he was a four-time Pro Bowler. He obviously won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos with the Peyton Manning team. Just a sad story overall. Everything, all the stories coming out, what a great guy he was in the locker room, not just as a football player, just as a person.
Right.
And unfortunately, it looks like a tragedy. The family said it looks like he had a seizure while he was in the shower. And I don't know if he fell or something happened or, so just a devastating story to come out at 33 and so close to 10,000 yards receiving all time that it would have probably put him in the Hall of Fame.
Like you said, 10 years, Eric, and he played for the Jets.
Yeah.
So
1
that's
year.
like minus a year.
Yeah, 1 year. I mean, yeah.
So, but he was a good player. Like, if his career would have lasted a little longer, and I don't know if it was just a decision on leaving Denver to go somewhere else, maybe for more money. But he was on pace to have a Hall of Fame career, but I think he fell just short because of not playing a good, solid, maybe 2 more years. And, and that might be due to just not selecting the right place to play.
Yeah, just a sad story to come out. We wish his family well, during this
Yes,
trying time, but,
absolutely.
um,
So young. Oh my gosh,
unfortunately,
so young.
almost 34. So 16 days away, 2 weeks realistically, he would have been 34.
And
And it
I don't
just
like the whole holiday thing too.
yeah, right around the holidays. And again, he just retired, so it wasn't even like, he had time to enjoy, doing something else in his life.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our triple play.
Triple play.
So this one's it's a fun one. We're gonna rank the top
Hard one.
3 rushing leaders in the NFL currently, and those 3 are Jonathan Taylor, Joe Mixon, and Dalvin Cook. And we've got to decide who we're gonna start, bench, and cut. And you're up first this week, my friend. So you get to right off the bat.
Yeah. Look, a lot of things depend on injuries. That's the way I look at it. So, knowing the injury history with Cook and Mixon, I would have to take Taylor as my starter.
Okay.
And I don't think he's the most talented of the 3. Actually, I think he might be the least talented of the 3, to be honest with you. But again, it's like all these little nagging things that always seem to hamper Cook and Mixon. They don't miss a lot of games, but they miss games every year. And it's like you take them away from 1 or 2 games, that could cost you the season. So I went with Taylor. Then it was tough. This is really, really tough. But I think Dalvin Cook has the most talent of all 3.
Yep.
And I would bench him and cut Mixon.
Okay.
It was hard. This was a hard one.
It was very hard. Guess what?
Because I like all 3 players, to be honest with you.
Guess what? We were exactly the same. So I started Jonathan Taylor. I looked at it. He's been in the league 2 years straight, 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons.
Yep.
So you're looking at the consistency there. I benched Dalvin Cook. So in 5 years, he's had 2 straight 1,000 yards about to go. He needs 22 yards, 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
Yeah.
Again, 4,600 yards rushing. So again, he's proven that he can do it consistently.
Right, and he can receive too.
Joe, 176 receptions. So again, Joe Mixon I cut, but again, 2 1,000-yard seasons, 4,337 yards. So again, he is a performer, but
and he can catch the ball out of the backfield too.
Yeah, out of the 155 receptions. So again, all solid players, but I think we made the right choice.
I think so too, because Taylor right now, 2 years in, he's already established himself as the second best running back in the league.
Yep. So
all these guys are all behind Henry, but again, I would take Taylor over Henry because of the injury factor.
And the funny thing is that Henry he's the 4th leading rusher. So he's almost, think about it, he's been out for a few weeks now. And it's these guys just finally passed him. Yeah. So think about the year Henry was having. It was an MVP season. It would have been an MVP season.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He was so far ahead of everybody.
Let's move on to some NBA. And one of your favorite players that we're going to bring up here. I know you love this guy, but there's been a lot of talk.
That's it. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
He's not even on the screen yet. Put the guy on the screen. Let's put this guy on the screen because this is your guy.
I know.
That's
I do like Luka.
Luka Doncic. So there's been some concern recently about his conditioning, that he might be a little overweight, out of shape.
Well, he said it himself.
So how concerned should the Dallas Mavericks be with this situation?
I don't think too concerned. As long as the team is still winning games, I mean, they're still in the playoff hunt, right? Like, they're still there.
Yeah, they'll still be around.
He'll get back into shape. He admitted that he let himself go in the time that, he was in between the basketball Olympics and and training camp. Like, he let himself go. He admitted that. And there's nothing more that's going to get you into shape than actually playing. And, in a couple of weeks, everything will be back to normal and he'll be fine.
So here's where I started to look at it. So I deep dove it a little bit. Versus last year, he's about 30 percentage points lower shooting the ball right now currently. He's averaging 2 less points a game. He's averaging his free throws are down almost what is he? He was 73%. He's at 68% now, so 5 percentage points. So the numbers are starting to be affected though as well. So if you look at it, 4 years in the league, he ascended for the first 3. He's taken a step back. The concern for me would be is how fast, how quickly he gets in shape. And then secondly, can this cause an injury that might affect him and then they lose him for games if he's not in shape?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that I guess you can say that would be a concern. The big concern, is that shooting percentage. Like, if you look at that shooting percentage, that tells you a lot. That means he's slower at releasing the ball, and that's going to make somebody get in his face faster, and he's missing shots because of being slower. Speed is a lot when it comes to getting that shot off clean. And, so if it's 2 weeks, fine, no harm done. His numbers will start to climb again. But if he's still overeating, if he's overeating, that's a concern.
And that's what I say. I'm starting to wonder if I was Dallas, I'm like, listen, we've invested a lot of money in you now.
Yeah.
You're our guy for the next, 10 years, hopefully. You got to start to figure it out now because every year you got to come in shape. It's not a matter of, hey, you know what? I understand you had the Olympics, you had some things, but listen, you play for the Dallas Mavericks. That's your bread and butter, first and foremost. That's where the money's
this
coming
is
out.
why when you first look at a player and he's young, you may want to look at the parents also, because that's what they're going to look like.
I can't with you, Rick. We don't know what his parents look like.
I'm serious. Look,
I don't know what his parents look like.
Look, because, okay, so he looks like a big guy, while he's young.
Yeah.
That's why I like players where they're kind of like
smaller,
stringy,
and then they grow into it.
Like stringy,
but they
like
grow
a
into
Kevin
it.
Durant type.
Yep.
That they grow into being a strong, dominant force. A player like Luka, although he's really talented, if there's a weight issue coming, you need to know. You need to see that history. And the best history is to take a look at mom and dad to see if they have a weight issue. And you laugh. But
I got to research his parents now.
I'm not.
I got to look at his parents now. I'm going to start researching his parents. I don't know. We're going to see if we can figure it out.
I'm just saying, because if there's a weight issue, that could make him slower. And if he's slower, he's not going to be good at all.
He won't be as effective. No, absolutely.
No.
So let's talk about another NBA team, and that's the Chicago Bulls, who are experiencing a COVID-19 outbreak. And how will this affect this team going forward? So currently, there's 5 players in the league's health and safety protocols. It's Kobe White, Javonte Green, DeMar DeRozan, Matt Thomas, and Derek Jones Jr. just went on recently. They're currently second in the Eastern Conference, only a game ahead of Milwaukee. What do we think could happen with the Bulls here? Not only obviously the seriousness of their health, and hopefully these guys are all okay and come back, but from a basketball standpoint, what do you think could happen to the Chicago Bulls?
Well, they could start getting games postponed. And that's the right thing to do, to be honest with you. Because with 5 players on the COVID list, that's like a third of their team.
Not more than that. I think you start 12 guys. You have 12 guys usually on a team.
Yeah, so, you're talking, you can only put like 7 out there.
Yeah. And then they have to sign some. Yeah, they have some exemption. They're signing guys right now, but if you think about the
Yeah,
talent,
but that's not even NBA talent.
yeah. So
So this is why I'm saying, like, in the NHL, they're postponing games. Once you get a certain amount of players, they're postponing. I don't see why the NBA shouldn't do
I
that. Like,
I don't get
it should be a given,
it. Hopefully they do. So the
especially when
next,
you're losing like a third of your team.
yeah. So there's actually the next 4 games. They play the Heat next. Then they got the Cavs, who have actually played very good basketball right now. The Cavs are actually in a playoff contention. Pistons and the Raptors. So there's some tough games here for them. This is a stretch where, listen, this probably didn't come at the right time either. Not that there's ever a right time, but you could see them losing 3 out of these 4 games.
Yeah,
And then
you can't beat anybody if you're only
don't have the players, right?
putting
And
out
now,
7 players.
and then what happens? They drop 3-4 games to Milwaukee. Milwaukee starts to, you know what I mean? This could have ultimately affect them
Look, wait,
throughout
see,
the
the
season.
thing is, when you have 7 players, you're going to get slower as the game goes along. And when you're slower, you're going to make fouls. You're going to foul out, and that's not good for
No, they can't afford it.
the NBA to
don't
just like stick them out there with all these
They don't have enough
scrubs.
players. This might be like power play in hockey. You're gonna end up having like
Yeah,
5-on-4s, 5-on-3s because there's not enough guys out there.
right.
So-
I've been in that situation.
So once again, if you enjoy what you're watching, check us out every Friday night at 6 p.m. We're live on so many different formats: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We're live on all of them on Friday nights at 6 p.m. You can follow us on social media at Sports Unfolded on Facebook and Twitter, at Broadcasting RI on Twitter, Sports_Unfolded on Instagram. Listen to us if you don't have time to watch on Amazon, Anchor, Google, and Spotify. And then if you're in the Southeast Connecticut area, you can check us out on SEC TV on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. on Public Access Channel 12. So we're excited about joining that family. And if we're asking if you have time and are interested in sponsoring our show, reach out to us. You can either email the Sports Unfolded, email Rhode Island Broadcasting. Let us know what you're interested in. We can talk about the packages that we offer, and we can obviously sponsor and promote your business as well. So follow us, check us out, email us, subscribe, send bits, everything that we've got going on. So many different ways to help us continue to grow our product. We appreciate all the fans that are out there.
Yes, we do.
So let's look at, my friend, NHL, because I know you've been dying to talk some hockey. And we're going to bring up this gentleman right here who just won his 500th game as goalie. And that would be Marc-Andre Fleury, who on Thursday won, again, his 500th game. How would you rank him overall in NHL history?
All right, well, I just happen to have my list of goaltenders.
Awesome. I love this shot, by the way. Look at it. You can't even see him. The team basically berated.
Yeah, you can't see him. He's in there somewhere.
Yeah,
He's a small guy too.
yeah, he's
So
that.
he's
He's
there.
right next to the post there, but you
Yep.
can barely see him.
You can barely see him because the post is in the way. So I have him either 6th or 7th all time.
Wow. And goaltending?
Yes.
Okay. I got to hear this.
So, all right. The obvious choices, there's Brodeur,
Yep. Without a doubt.
Patrick Waugh. Those are obvious.
Yep.
Best 2 goaltenders,
Agreed.
in my opinion, that has played.
Okay.
And I don't care which one you put at number 1, because there's no way I get rid of either. 2 not so obvious choices, because they've been way in the past. Terry Sawchuk.
Tuukka Rask.
Terry
Go ahead.
Sawchuk and
Okay.
Jacques Plante.
Okay.
They got to go ahead of him.
Are
I
you
mean,
serious?
they were amazing. And they played a lot less games back then.
3 Stanley Cup winner, 3-time Stanley Cup winner. He won the Jennings Award and the
Who are you reading off?
Vezina. That was Fleury. Last year,
Oh,
he won
okay,
the
yeah.
Vezina
Yeah.
and the Jennings. He's been an
Yep.
all-star. He's won
Yep.
the Cup 3 times.
Yep.
He's third all-time in wins. You got him ranked 7th.
Yep.
I just don't know. Maybe you know something I
7th
don't
in
know.
wins, but like I said, Terry
Third in
Sawchuk
wins.
and Jacques Plante didn't play as many games. There weren't as many games in the league. There weren't even as many teams.
Okay.
So
All right.
look, Terry Sawchuk was a beast of a goaltender. If he was around today, he'd probably have the most wins ever. And also Dominic Hasek,
I like Dominic Hasek. I agree, but I don't know.
the Dominator.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, for years he played in Buffalo, so that'll tell you everything. And then there's Carey Price, which I don't know who I would put in front of who. Price and Fleury to me are right there, and I'm having like paranormal stuff going
Yeah,
on.
again, that paranormal activity. You got to get. What's the show that you got on Rhode Island Broadcast? You got to check out that camera.
Spats.
Spats, right? Check out that camera.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you're the hockey guy. You'll go with it. So this next argument, we're going to bring this picture up as well. I know you're fired up about this one, and this is going to turn into something great. And this is why I did it. So they're facing each other tonight.
Yes.
Pittsburgh at Washington. I don't know if you could bring that picture up, my friend.
I can.
All right. Let's see. Right there. These two gentlemen. And which player has had a better NHL career, Alex Ovechkin or Sidney Crosby? And the reason why this is kind of relevant is that Ovechkin was a 2004 number 1 draft pick. Crosby, the number 1 draft pick in 2005. They actually didn't play their first games until they played each other in 2005 because of the lockout. So they both, first time, I think they said both number 1s played each other at obviously the first time because you can only draft one guy once at number 1. This was the first time ever. So they've been in the league basically the same amount of time if you realistically think about it.
Yes.
All right. So what do you got? I know you're fired up about this, and I know you're not going to say Crosby because you're not a big Crosby fan.
So as of right now, Crosby has had the better career.
I can't believe you. I was going to argue with you about.
Look, believe me, there's no one on this planet that wanted to say Ovechkin more than me. Because I think Crosby is way overrated as a player in this league. Look,
he's got great numbers though.
The reason why he's got the better career, all careers, in my opinion, are measured by Stanley Cups.
And he's got 3 cups.
So he's got more. So he's
Ovechkin's been a 12-time All-Star to 8 versus Crosby. And the reason why I was going to argue this too is think about, so the one knock on Crosby has been the injuries. Yes. He's had several injuries. So he's played in 200 less games, almost 200 less games. So if he had played in those 200 games, his numbers would have far surpassed Ovechkin. Yeah. So, I mean,
I looked at the numbers. I know the numbers.
Okay. All right. I thought this was going to go a different direction.
The thing is, though, no, because I'd rather have Ovechkin.
Yeah, I get you.
I mean, to me, I think Ovechkin's I don't want to say a better player because they're two totally different players.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But what Ovechkin brings that Sidney Crosby does not bring is that grit, that toughness, and determination. I'm sorry.
But
a lot of Sidney's career has been soft.
But Crosby's career, too, you think about it, he's more of the team facilitator. He can do that better than Ovechkin. Ovechkin's going to put the puck in the net.
Right.
That's a guarantee.
Ultimately, what it comes down to is putting the puck in the net. Yeah. And that is why once Ovechkin does pass Gretzky, and I truly believe he's going to.
Yeah, he will.
He is the greatest goal scorer of all time. All time.
And I like the way you said that, goal scorer. Not the greatest of all time in all overall hockey. The greatest goal scorer, though. I have to agree with you.
Right. And to me, that will determine the fate of these two players together.
So if
Like-
Ovechkin wins one more, puts him ahead
That
of
changes
Crosby.
that
Correct?
changes a
Right?
lot.
I think it would as well. We did a Twitter poll as well. 66% say Crosby, 33 Ovechkin. So right now it still favors Crosby, and I think, like you said, it's the cups.
Yeah.
Two more
like
cups.
like we have this conversation about Sidney Crosby a lot, Eric, and it's like, yeah, I know his numbers. Second most points since coming into the
Yep.
league, I believe. Not wait, number one in points since coming into the league.
Well, Ovechkin has more points. Oh, you're
All right,
talking about
so okay, yeah, right.
second.
So
He's second.
and I get the infatuation of a player like Sidney Crosby because he's like the next one that comes along, after Mario, Steve Yzerman, Wayne Gretzky, but he's none of those guys. Look, I mean, he led the league twice, and you can just look at his teammate Malkin, who's also led the league twice in scoring, and he's not even the second best player in Pittsburgh history. Because you look at Mario, you look at Jaromir Jagr.
Yep.
And then is there a question on who's better? And because Malkin has been injury prone. So, you got two guys that could have been more than what they are. And I understand that. Sidney Crosby's got a lot of talent, but he's never really been the guy that everybody raves that he is.
Yeah, no, I got it. I think you probably talked more about his injuries and
still a great player though,
Yeah.
and probably a Hall of Famer. I mean, I don't think that's a doubt.
No, but not with those numbers. I really highly doubt that he wouldn't be. Let's look at we're gonna go over to our face-off, my friend.
Face-off.
So currently, which is ironic, both of these teams are 13 and 13. So one of us has to be for this team being more a bigger disappointment than the other. And the two teams are the Los Angeles Lakers and the Boston Celtics. So you are first this week, so you get to pick which team you think is a bigger disappointment.
I can argue either point, so what do you want?
I'll take either one. I really don't matter to me. You pick it, my friend. Yeah, it's your week. Which team would you rather argue is a bigger disappointment?
I'll do the Lakers, I guess.
Okay. All right. So you're up first.
Okay. So, when you sign players with high expectations, Westbrook, all the cast of characters that they got, they think they have the big three with Davis, LeBron, and Westbrook. There is only one thing that they're supposed to do, and that is win a championship. And a lot of the experts say, oh, it's going to be Lakers and Nets. We didn't have that, by the way. But that's what experts say. There's no way they can lose. Well, when you have those three guys on your team and you can't even get above 500, that is a bigger disappointing. The Celtics have a couple of guys that can do it.
So here's my point. So this is why Boston's a bigger disappointment. If you think about what you just said, they're all players that haven't played together, and this was their first year, and they're trying to mesh, and they're trying to figure it out. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have been on this team now for 5 years.
Yeah, but we already knew that they were going to be a 500 team because it's the same thing as last year.
But every year we keep saying, like, this is the year that Jason Tatum becomes the next superstar and Jaylen Brown takes the next step, and that they were going to be that team that could compete in the East again. And they keep trying to put all these pieces in place to say who's the third player.
Some of us didn't even have them making the playoffs.
Listen,
so
Jason Tatum is supposed to be a legitimate superstar in this league. Jaylen Brown was supposed to be one of the top 20 players in this league.
Yeah, but if
you have two of the top 20
saying
players
that they're not going to make the playoffs, then it's not as big as a disappointment as the Lakers are supposed to win it. You know what I mean? It's like there's no
But you
turning
can't compare.
away from where the expectation is. The
Who was
expectation is the
last year?
Lakers
It
go to
was
the
James and
finals.
Davis.
The expectation is they're lucky if they make the playoffs for the
Anthony
Celtics.
Davis and LeBron James were the two players on this team. They basically got rid of the entire squad after that.
Yeah.
Boston has had the same team. They even brought back players that were playing for
Right.
him before. Cantor, all these guys
Yeah,
who were
but
supposed
that
Al
didn't
Horford,
raise
and they're worse.
it didn't raise expectations, Eric. There, like the disappointment is the expectation that is not fulfilled. So the expectation of the Lakers making it to the finals against the Nets is far, far away from where they are. The
Everybody keeps
Celtics
saying,
are
listen,
lucky if they make the playoffs. That's the expectation. They're
everybody
trying
keeps
to
saying
make
the
the
Lakers are going to be
playoffs.
able to turn it on at some point, and these four guys are going to figure it out. Nobody's saying that about
Yeah,
Boston.
but that's not
Yeah,
where they're at. So, like, as far as where they're at,
yeah.
13 and 13, Lakers are the
How about this?
far,
They both stink.
far
They both stink.
biggest disappointment.
They
It's
both
not
stink.
even close.
They
It's not
both
even
stink.
close.
They both stink.
They do
It's
both
actually-
stink.
it's
Yeah, you're
actually-
right about that.
It's a
And I keep waiting for the Celtics organization to actually start making changes the
Yeah,
right
it's
way. And
never
it
gonna
isn't
happen.
the same system as it was before.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
So,
So let's look at some
I win.
NCAA football. So college football, we had a couple of stories that piqued our interest that just came out recently. The first is the NCAA enforcing the fake slide rule. So if you see the player on the screen right now, that's Kenny Pickett, plays for Pitt in the ACC championship. He basically faked like he was going to take a slide so that he wouldn't get hit. The defenders eased up because, again, it would be a penalty if they went at him. And then he decided to continue to run and scored a touchdown. The rule has changed now where the officials will throw a flag and basically stop the play where they pretend to slide and say the play was dead because the defenders obviously weren't going to hit him. Do you think the NCAA got this rule right?
absolutely right. They get it absolutely right. And this was actually pretty disgusting as a player. You know, look, there's like we talk about all these unwritten rules in baseball. Some of them are really ridiculous, right? This is something that this is it's more respect to the other players, the defenders. Like you're disrespecting them, pretending you're gonna slide, and then they stop, and then you just keep running.
And I looked at
That's so wrong. It's
Listen,
so wrong.
these leagues have tried to protect the quarterbacks, and we all complain about it. They're trying to protect the quarterbacks. And what you just did is basically say to a defender, like, we still need to whack you because we can't trust that you're going to slide. And you're going to get somebody else hurt because they might
Watch.
legitimately be trying to slide. And, oh, wait, is it a fake? Is it a slide? I'm going to hit this kid.
Will they have another game?
No, I think they're done. Well, they'll have a bowl game.
So
maybe somebody takes a shot at him. I don't know.
look, if you're playing against him
I'd be upset.
and you take that shot,
Mhm.
as a defender, knowing what he just did before,
I'd be pretty
that
upset
would
about it.
be the players
Yep.
policing themselves. This is no different
And I think that's why the
in hockey
NCAA
with fights. You know,
I think this is why the NCAA though reacted very quickly to this.
Yep.
Listen, they do a lot of things wrong. This was they were spot on because even
Yeah,
in the
they-
bowl
they
games
did a
now,
good
the
job, and it
championship
needs to
games,
happen. Look, this
it's
happened
happening now.
in the Patriots game. Something similar. It wasn't exactly a slide, but do you remember when Josh Allen ran the ball? He ran down the line, and it looked like he was going to go out. So the defender eased up, and then he ran past him, and then a Patriot pushed him,
Yeah,
like
out of
when he
bounds.
was
Yeah.
just as he was stepping out, but he
Yeah.
was still in bounds, and they called a penalty on a
Yeah.
Patriot.
So they try to protect these quarterbacks. They got this right.
Next time I
NCAA,
pop
great
him.
job.
I pop him.
Another story that came out today: Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, was named AP Coach of the Year. He received 22 of 53 first place votes. Do you think Harbaugh should have won the award?
Yeah, why not? Like, it's got one of the best teams in the
He
NCAA.
does.
did we not expect him to win?
So I
This
was
award?
disappointed. Listen, I'm a Michigan fan. I like Michigan. I like Harbaugh. I think the team, right? Wow, great job this year. They're in the championship. But what about Cincinnati and Luke Fickell, who brought that team to 13-0? And if you think about it, he's not in the top conference. He's not in the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Pat. He's bringing a small school, and they're going to compete against Alabama. And I don't expect them to win it.
You just gave the answer. That's why.
But that's what I'm
What
saying.
you just said is
What
why
he did was
didn't win it.
much more impressive than a team from Michigan
It
who
doesn't
was
look.
expected to be a good team, a solid
That
team.
doesn't matter. As they got it right with the fake slide, they don't get it right when it comes to those kind of wars because they're going to give them to the teams in the big conferences.
Yeah, because they want to
That's
keep
the
that,
thing.
which is garbage. So, listen, look. I'm not saying he didn't.
Like, it's
deserve
not
it.
a bad choice.
No, he's not. I just think there was one candidate probably better. And I just think if you look at it based on he got a team that shouldn't have even been considered for a championship. Right. Listen, who knows what happens? You play the games for a reason. If they upset Alabama, let's just say it happens in the grand scheme of things. I don't think he's going to really care about AP Coach of the Year at that point because guess what? He'll be playing for a national championship. So he got his team to where he needs to get them. Look, awards are awards. Jim Harbaugh has been in Michigan quite some time and had some very bad seasons and underperformed. Good for him. Look, he got by Ohio State finally, got won the Big Ten championship finally. Congrats.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to knock him for winning.
I think, yeah, he had a great season, but all in all, Jim Harbaugh really didn't live up to expectations.
Not in Michigan,
in college.
He has not.
Because this is a guy that excelled, in the NFL. And I'm sorry, if you're a great NFL coach and you go to college and you're just okay for the most part, that's not good. That's not good.
We'll have to see how
I just think he should have been more successful at this point.
Let's see how he goes. He's going to face Georgia, so that'll be an interesting matchup as well.
So Cincinnati versus Michigan
in the final.
Let them settle it there.
Hey, the games are not till the 31st, so we'll be.
I know, but that's what I want to see.
It'll be on one of the shows.
Cincinnati, Michigan. That's what I want to see.
Greatest segment we do every week. Pick and roll time, my friend.
Pick and roll.
Pick and roll. And this week's pick and roll with the inevitable Steph Curry passing Ray Allen for the all-time three-pointers made. We decided to rank the top 5 NBA basketball players.
This is so hard.
Right? So
Every week.
These are the top 5 currently that have made the most three-pointers in the NBA history. Ray Allen, Steph Curry, Reggie Miller, James Harden, and Kyle Korver. My friend, you are up first.
Yes.
What do you got?
All right. Now, I know his 3-point percentage is the highest amongst all these guys.
Second highest. I know who you're going with.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver.
Number 5.
Yep.
And the reason being, okay, the guy averages 9.7 points per game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So basically, every single game he played, he knocked down 3 threes. Every single game. That's what you got.
It's impressive. Yeah, but
it is good. It's good. Coming off the bench, you get 3 threes.
Yep.
Great.
Over 5,700 threes attempted, made 2,450.
Right. That's impressive. The problem is that's what he's done every single game.
That's it.
So it's like he doesn't shoot enough for me to put him higher.
Agree.
And I know he's got a lot made.
Yeah. And he
won
All-Star.
It's 3 every single game.
One All-Star too, so it wasn't like
one All-Star. So I mean, look, if he made a living doing that, that's fabulous.
Right,
and
he did.
He's being recognized as one of those top players.
Right.
And that's great. For somebody that's a bench player. So being number 5 here is pretty damn good.
It is.
Number 4, This was so hard because I so wanted to put him higher. Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller is one of my favorite players of all time. I,
Mhm.
I, I think he was fantastic.
Love Reg.
Look, average 18.2 points a game, 39.5%. I mean, 5-time All Star, 3-time All NBA,
Mhm.
0.
4 championships.
That hurts
Mhm.
because, like, I so wanted him to win one. I
I
wish he
agree.
would have came to Boston at
Yeah.
least for a couple of years. I would have loved to see him in Boston, but
I love
again,
Reg.
that was number 4, and then number 3 was the two I was struggling to put there. James Harden, 36.3, a little lower,
Yep.
but he takes a hell of a lot more shots.
Yeah. Out of all of them, he's the lowest percentage-wise. Yeah.
Right. But, I mean, the guy can just flat out play.
Yep.
But again, 9 All-Stars, 7-time All-NBA, 3 scoring titles, 1 MVP,
MVP, yep.
stellar numbers. But
Mhm.
again,
0 championships.
0 championships.
Yep.
This guy can't win a championship. He might do it this year. Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? So then it was just all about the top 2 because these 2 are clearly better than the rest. Like, clearly. It doesn't get any better than these 2 guys that shoot. Ray Allen, number 2.
Ray Allen. Wow. Okay.
40% from 3-point.
Yeah. Right. Crazy.
40% is amazing for a guy that shoots as much.
And the amount of he did over 7,400 threes taken.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's amazing numbers. That's better numbers than a lot of players post field goal percentage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 10-time All-Star, 2-time NBA, All-NBA, didn't win a scoring title or an MVP.
Wasn't known for
but
that.
I'll
though.
tell
Yeah.
you, this guy is like the second to anybody. Like, if you have a big guy, you want this guy to have,
You wanted Ray Allen.
on your
Yep.
team because you will win a championship.
Listen, when he
Kevin
came to
Garnett.
Boston, the big 3,
Paul Pierce.
he was a big key for that big 3
was
in
huge.
Boston.
So, but the big number, 2 championships.
2 championships.
And that one in Boston. Yes.
Mhm.
Thank
always
you,
was.
Ray.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Maybe someday we'll get one from this next guy. Steph Curry, number
Steph
1.
Curry.
That would be nice. 41.3%. And as much as he shoots,
43.2. I think you might have looked at the wrong
43.2. I might have looked at the wrong number. 27.5 points per game. So when you think, and 5.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists, this guy does it all. He does it all. 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, 2 scoring titles, 2 MVPs, and the big 3
championship.
this year could be number 4.
Could be. Agreed.
I would really love to see him get 6, but let's 2 of them be in Boston.
Yeah, I think he's locked up in Golden State for a while.
Like, I don't
He
think
ain't
they're letting
going
him
anywhere.
get away.
He ain't going away.
I would trade everyone for
So-
Steph Curry.
In a Sports Unfolded first. So we are on episode 43. And this has never happened, my friend. We had the same triple play, and we had the same pick and roll.
Oh wow! I thought for sure you were gonna put Carver at number 1.
No.
I'm like, is he throwing this guy in there just to trick me?
No. Exactly the same. And yet you explained it perfectly. Like Carver, same thing. Just the amount and his percentage, great, but just didn't average enough points for me to say, look, he deserved to be higher.
Yeah, because you don't know what would happen if he had more shots. Yeah. Like, he could send up bricks the next 4 shots.
And then Reggie Miller, I agree with you that the championship, and the reason why I put Harden ahead of him was because Harden's averaging 7 points more a game.
Yeah.
than Reggie is.
Yeah,
So I
just
look
like
at
all
it
those
that
other
way.
numbers were
And then the
just
rebounds,
so
the
poor.
assists, right? So it gives you more. Ray Allen, it was a struggle. It was a toss up, and I really wanted to give it to Ray at one, but then I just looked at Steph Curry's percentage.
It's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. And you think about it, he's done it in less shots. He's
And
going to
he's an
pass him.
MVP.
Yeah, he's going to pass him in less shots. So basically, he's probably going to be about 500 less shots to make the same amount of threes that it took Ray Allen. So over a course of a year, that's a lot.
Look, the next step for Steph Curry really is, if he can get that fourth championship, that puts him ahead of so many people.
Nobody's passing Steph Curry for threes made probably
No,
ever.
I can't see it. I can't see it. Not in the league today.
No,
nobody in the league today.
So once again, if you enjoy what you're watching, check us out every Friday night at 6 p.m. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So many different ways to watch us live every Friday night, 6 p.m.
Throw us some comments, damn it.
Right? Throw them up. Nothing today. We're getting nothing today. Follow us on social media at Sports Unfiltered on Facebook and Twitter, at Broadcasting RI on Twitter, Sports_Unfolded on Instagram. Listen to us if you can't watch. Amazon, Anchor, Google, Spotify, so many different ways to watch, listen. If you're in Southeast Connecticut, SECTV, Public Access, Channel 12. You can watch us there Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. as well. It's a rebroadcast of our live show. So check us out. And if you enjoy it, come join us on Friday nights at 6 p.m.
Yeah, if you throw us comments as we're live,
we are interactive.
We're going to talk to you. Yep. We're going to have conversation with you.
We are interactive. And then if you want to sponsor the show and you'd like maybe some ads to be put up for your local businesses, we can definitely do that as well. Reach out to us, email Sports Unfolded or email Rhode Island Broadcasting, and we'll give you details on what that would include. And it'd be great for your business, and it helps us continue to grow our business as well. So
Eric, on that thought, just imagine we have 10.8K followers on Facebook. We have over 1,000 on YouTube. We have between Rhode Island Broadcasting, Sports Unfolded on Twitter, at least 500 followers. Twitch, we have like 280 something or whatever it is. So you're going to get eyeballs. You're going to get eyeballs on your
so
ads.
Even if it's not if it's not a local, it's a website. If you want us to put up your website, so if you need people to order stuff from you, listen, It's only going to help you.
It goes on our website. It goes on our Facebook. It goes on our Twitter. It goes everywhere.
And we'll guarantee this: our prices are going to be better than anything else you would pay for a radio ad or an internet ad or a website. We'll make sure that we make it worth your while.
Absolutely.
Ron, It's prediction time.
It is prediction. Oh, how did we do?
So you won last week 3-1.
Yes.
And the only game was the Lakers.
I told you I was going. I said I was going to sweep, though. Damn it.
Lakers Celtics. So.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was going to be the.
See, and I was going to pick Alabama. I should have just picked Alabama.
You should have said this because I won. I clearly won the face-off. All you should have said, the Celtics lost to the Lakers.
You did not. You did not clearly win that.
No, I clearly won.
So let's look. NBA action on 12/11. Chicago Bulls at Miami Heat. And after our recent NBA discussion, this probably is going to go one way for both of us.
Yeah, it's going to be Miami. There's no way.
Right? We can't go any other way on that one. All right, some NHL action, 12/11. Carolina Hurricanes at Edmonton Oilers. Very good game.
Okay, so Edmonton has now lost, 4 straight? 3 of them at home?
1 to Boston.
They just lost to Boston last night. Yes.
3-2.
I'm going Carolina. I think Carolina is right now a better team than Boston, unfortunately. So I think Carolina is going to go in there and kick butt.
All right, I'm going Edmonton because they're going to straighten it out. This is the game against a very good opponent. 12-16, Toronto Maple Leafs at the Calgary Flames.
Toronto at home is a lot different than Toronto on the road. And I don't know why, because that team is really good. And they're puzzling when they lose, but they're playing against a very good Calgary team, and I'm going to go Calgary.
I'm going to agree with you, Calgary. I think being at home helps.
Yes.
NFL action. These are some big games, so we're going to pick 3 of them here.
Like I get chills doing this prediction because these are all great games that I want to
really
see.
good. Buffalo Bills at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm going Tampa Bay with Tom. Tom has beaten Buffalo so many times. I think he just can do it with his eyes closed at this point. And like I said, if they take the New England, Indianapolis approach, just run it right down their throat with Fournette.
Tampa Bay. I'm going Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. I can't see him losing to them at this point, and especially with the way Buffalo is. Dallas Cowboys at the Washington football team.
Okay, so every week, all the experts say, "Oh, this is the week that Dallas comes out and plays, and what they're supposed to do." This is not that week. They gave them so much material in that Washington locker room to get up for this game. Washington wins this game.
I'm going Dallas Cowboys. They need this game. They know the importance of it.
They got to play desperate, but they blew it.
Yeah,
Mike
they've
McCarthy's
squandered so much this season and how many years in the past. They know they need to win this game. This is the playoffs or bust right now. Monday night, so 12-13, the Los Angeles Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. And you already said
I already gave my prediction on this. I picked Arizona.
I don't know which way I want to go. I'm going Arizona as well. I just think they're a better team. MLS Championship, the New York City Football Club at the Portland Timbers.
Like when you think about this, you'd almost be a fool not to take New York City at this point. Like, I have to take them because they beat New England, and New England was the best team.
I'm going Portland Timbers because they're at home.
Yeah, I know they're at home.
Those fans, they're going to be all revved up.
And so you know what's interesting? Their arena is Providence Park.
Why? Great. Which, when I looked it up, it went right to Rhode Island first.
Yeah. So it's like it's supposed to happen. Like, I would look. There's nothing more than I would like to see Portland win this game, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
So you're going
I think
with New York. So
City
we got 3 different ones. Almost impossible to tie. So unless Edmonton, Carolina go to shootout and nobody wins and it goes tie, which I don't even think they do in an NHL anymore.
Well, we know that soccer match can't end in a tie.
It cannot. So we should have a difference next week. So what we normally do to end each show, we do our final thought, and our final thought doesn't necessarily have to be about anything that's sports related. It can be about anything that's going on in the world today. Ron, you're up first this week, my friend. Your final thought.
Okay, so I am going to get a little down on this. Look, this is the holiday season. We have already seen Demaryius Thomas pass. There was a rapper that got gunned down.
Al
Slim
Senior.
400.
Al Unser Sr. as well passed away today.
Al Unser Sr., yeah. I also have a friend, Ray, which I don't know if he's watching or not, but he's not a sports fan. He's a gamer. He had a bunch of relatives pass, I believe 2 grandparents just passed this past week, and he's had another relative a couple of weeks ago. And there is nothing worse than losing somebody you love, and especially around the holidays. So when you're sitting around with your family this holiday season, doesn't matter what religion, because there's like a million holidays coming up, between Hanukkah and New Year's. Please tell your family you love them, because we know life is fragile. And we've seen so many people pass the past couple of weeks that, are in the entertainment, sports, whatever it is. Tell them, because you don't know if you will see them tomorrow. So just tell them.
No, great point.
That's all. I didn't want to do anything but that because I just the fact of what I've seen in the past couple of weeks is just
No, I
ridiculous.
understand.
So Ray, I feel for you. I hope your family gets through it all, and I'm so proud to be your friend.
Awesome. And I'm great. It's hard to follow that up, but I will. Mine is a sports related, and it's about the Buffalo Bills and head coach Sean McDermott and the lack of class that he displayed after losing to the New England Patriots on Monday night and not being willing to accept that Bill Belichick outcoached him. Basically went on and said in his interview that you can't he won't give credit to Bill Belichick for that win, that it wasn't the coaching. And it just goes to show, right? But it just that we shouldn't be giving credit to Bill Belichick in that with that victory. And I just looked at it this way: from a sheer standpoint of sportsmanship, if you get beat, and I've seen boxers, and you'll see, you know what I mean, other sports where if somebody beats you with a 3, the other team goes over and they like, wow, great shot, like I can't believe you made it. Boxers, they hug each other at the end and like, bro, thanks for that fight, regardless of who won, because it's about sportsmanship. It's about competing.
The NHL with the handshakes at the end
Right,
of series and playoffs.
Right.
There's nothing better than that.
And it just baffles me that a coach, like if a player, I get it. Sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're upset, you're pissed off, but a coach to come out here and basically say that we're not going to give credit to another coach just goes to show that this is why your team struggles.
Yeah.
Because you can't even look yourself in the mirror and say, look, we got outcoached, we got outplayed. If you watch a Bill Belichick press conference, yes, it's probably the most boring thing you ever see because he's not going to give you anything.
He doesn't.
But when he loses, the first thing he says, we need to coach better, we need to play better, we need to practice better. They beat us at every aspect of the game. He gives that team credit. And
yeah, even if they're bad, Eric, he's like, oh, they're a good football team.
Right.
You know, the same thing. It's like scripted.
Yeah. So Sean McDermott should be embarrassed. I did a sports short on my anchor on Sports Unfolded, and I said, look, at the end of the day, this guy should be embarrassed because your team got beat and the way it got beat. And I understand, but don't ever discredit another team because you got beat.
Right.
You want to you made mistakes. I'm okay with that. But if you want to discredit somebody else for winning, it just goes to show that you have no leadership skills.
He clearly got outcoached.
Yeah.
He clearly did.
He has no leadership skills. He should be embarrassed. His team absolutely got their butts kicked. And you know what? I'm glad. Because at the end of the day, if that's how you're going to treat it and respect the game, then you deserve to lose like that.
Yeah, and he just gave the Patriots more fuel for the fire for the next
2
one.
weeks. Yeah, in 2 weeks. Can't wait. Can't wait for that matchup.
Good
so
point.
That's the end of our show. If you enjoyed it, again, check us out every Friday night, 6 p.m., Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. So many different ways to watch us. SEC TV, thank you for putting us on Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. Re-air of Friday's live broadcast. Ron, great show tonight. I had a blast.
It was good.
I love it, man. Great show. More sports to come every week. So we can't wait till next week. Let's see if 44 is even better.
Yep. Wait, are we doing? Oh, that leaves a lot open for next week's pick and roll.
Oh, get ready.
44?
44. Famous fours, famous number 44. We could go out so many different ways on this one. For all the fans out there, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Share, like, subscribe, do everything for Sports Unfolded. We appreciate it all. Fans out there, peace.
Have a good night, everybody.